cut me off again because of memory, but hopefully it should be better now. Anyway, okay, so these pistons are from DSS Racing, and as you can see also the girdle. So they have this patented, supposedly, I think they call it an X groove on the piston skirt. I think it's on both, obviously both sides. So the lines intersect and they meet the oil control ring. So according to the website, the reason for that is that when you're getting blow by, when you're getting like gas and whatever the fuck else inside of the cylinder, instead of it going like directly down on the cylinder walls, all that shit that you don't want in the cylinder, that's going to mess with your oil pattern, is going to go down the sides of the wall. So what this does is it like maintains the integrity of the oil I guess contact area that's on the cylinder wall when the piston is going up and down. You can see looks like it's been touching a little bit there, but I looked at the cylinders and they look good, so, and that's really minor. But that's pretty cool tech. What else? So yeah, so let's see that. So I'm gonna change out the crankshaft bearings. These are the uppers. Remember, the engine is upside down right now. So these are the uppers, and the lowers are going to be on the caps themselves. So also the cam bearings. Cam goes in here, and the bearings are inside of the block. So you need like a special tool to remove these bearings and install them. The problem is I haven't found one that's not really expensive. So I'm gonna have to see, I keep looking or bite the bullet or something, because these have to come out. And these are also oriented. Well, that's a cool shot. That's straight down the cam bore. And you see that groove on the top of the cam bearing? That corresponds with the oil pathway. If you put that bearing on wrong, you're not going to get any oil to the cam, and you're going to have a problem. The cam's going to seize up, the motor's going to fucking probably seize up as well. So it's very important that when you remove these bearings, you remember where each one goes. Because I believe they're different. Each one is going to be different than the other one. So you have to remember the orientation for that. Also going to change out the rear main seal. And yeah, I gotta figure out. I already started to take some of the rust off the block, just because I don't know. I don't have a bore gauge yet, so I can't measure the bores to get the correct rings, but I'm pretty sure they're 30 over, because stock is 4, so a lot of people, when they rebuild, they go 30 over for whatever reason. Maybe the walls aren't in good condition, and you get a little bit more displacement when you do that. And 30 over is actually quite a lot. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when you multiply it by 8, it's a difference. Freeze plugs. I'm also going to change. I'm probably going to put brass ones, or I might go steel, depends on how much they are. What these are is basically, all these are is when they cast this thing at the engine building palace and they fill the thing with sand in order to cast it, these freeze plugs, that's all they are. They're like a one-time use thing. You know, they serve no other purpose than to let the sand out after it's been cast. So these have to be obviously plugged, because if not, you have a gaping hole. So these are pretty easy to put in. What you do is you just get a socket that's a little bit smaller than the freeze plug, and you just tap it on with a hammer. You don't want to go too far, those they could get stuck in there in the block, and then you have a real issue. I'm gonna flip this over. Hold on. Flip this over. Look. Oh, well, that was a bearing that fell. Change them anyway. Alright, so top of the block, you have the lifter valley. This area is covered by the intake manifold. Lifter bores. Spider tray goes there. Bunch of RTV that I have to remove. Take rust off. The block looks really good though, so I'm happy. But yeah, so far so good. And I might start working on wiring soon, because I'm making a lot of progress pretty quickly. So I thought this was going to take a lot longer than it actually has. But I should have the car back on a lot sooner than I think. Alright, thank you.